Well, battery storage was a bright spot, and it was doubled from first quarter to second quarter. So they are riding up the capex boom outside the company, from the AI businesses and the data center businesses, and that is, wholly a good story. I also think their supercharger network is getting back on track, and they're getting more stations put in place. They're starting to hire back people from the April cuts. So in general, away from the auto business, they're doing okay.
From the auto business, they're doing okay. I mean, the auto business is clearly struggling as consumers are moving away from EVs. And that's why Musk has launched the poll asking if Tesla should invest these $5 billion into XAI. What's your take? Should they? Is that the best use of their cash?
Well, they got $30 billion worth of cash now. So $5 billion of that would be a significant investment. I don't think so. I think Grok and XAI is basically a chat GPT with a little funnier face to it, and I don't see how it synergizes with the Tesla autonomy story because it's really a different business. So tough to sell me on the idea. I would prefer him to get back to building affordable electric vehicles. That really is going to be the charge for next year, and he's still dancing around on that, and we don't see any new models from auto in that respect, and that is the big issue.
John, it's Arjun here. I want to pick up on this story. You mentioned the autonomy story, but there seems to be this battle playing out between the Tesla story on one hand, at its core, the EV car story, versus Tesla's autonomy, AI, robotics story as well. I just want to focus on the auto story for a minute, because a big focus now is on what comes next for the lineup of cars, this affordable model that Elon Musk has promised in the first half of next year. What hopes do you have for that model in order to refresh what is an aging lineup at that point and get Tesla's auto deliveries back into growth again?
I don't really have a lot of enthusiasm for this because he took away the box manufacturing, the unboxed manufacturing concept that was going to get him to a $25,000 a year vehicle. So it's always been the case that the manufacturing plant at Tesla has been the product. And this is really not the case here. What he's arguing for is to use the robo-taxi on the existing chassis for the Model 3, for example, is probably the best example. And then they're going to upgrade the chassis of these existing manufacturing structures. That's incremental progress. It's not likely to change the vehicle enough to get more interest. And that's my issue with what he's doing right now. He really does need a Model 2, and that is the unboxed manufacturing that he's cast aside. And for whatever reason, since the Twitter purchase in 2022, he had a gross operating margin of 30. Now, after you take their regulatory credits away, he's got 15% operating margins. There's not a lot he can do with this existing structure while he's down at 15% gross operating margins.